You're listening to Headspin by Aslan's Place, bite-sized episodes where Dr. Paul L. Cox and Jeff Stow help you understand biblical concepts that may seem confusing but can be understood with the proper foundation.
So, Paul, last week we were talking about holy ones, and we have Old Testament holy ones and New Testament holy ones, and they're not the same, and none of them are people. So I'm thoroughly confused.
Okay, Jeff. So I want to continue to confuse you. So we must always interpret scripture in context. And so I cannot tell you 100% with surety that every translation of holy ones in the Old Testament are saints. So you need to look at the context. I can say that generally in the Old Testament, holy ones are spiritual beings and they are not saints. And it may even be someplace in the New Testament where the holy ones may not be saints, but may be the spiritual beings. But again, I have not done enough study of all the references to holy ones to say that is true. So let's go back to the Old Testament and to the Daniel 4 passage. When we ended, I talked about the dream or the night vision of Nebuchadnezzar, and then the pronouncement of a sentence against Nebuchadnezzar that because of his pride, he will be like a cow grazing for a period of 7 years. And then we get to verse 17 of chapter 4 of Daniel. This decision is by the decree of the watchers. So remember, we said the watchers are a kind of holy one. And I believe, Jeff, that watchers are like a subdivision of the holy ones. And the sentence by the word of the holy ones, in order that the living may that the Most High, know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. So what happened to me, Jeff, over a period of several years maybe, is the Lord started showing us the administrative government of the spiritual world. That seems to very much be mirrored by our government. So in our government, we have three branches. We have the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. So three branches of government. And the Lord showed us that the executive branch is the Mazroth, which is mentioned in the book of Job. We may talk about that later. The legislative branch is actually made up of the sons of God, and we are to rule and reign and to be representatives of the Lord on earth. So that's the legislative branch. The judicial branch, the Lord then taught us, is made up of the holy ones. So the holy ones are spiritual beings that appear to be functioning in the judicial branch of the divine government. So as you know today, there's a lot of discussion about the court systems of heaven. And so when you're talking about the court systems of heaven, then you're talking about the holy ones. And you notice here that the holy ones make decrees and sentences. Well, that's what the judicial branch does. They make decrees and they make sentences that then affect mankind. Let's go back to the watchers first, Jeff.
Okay.
So I believe the watchers are actually the police force of the judicial branch, which would be what we call the marshals. So marshals function in our judicial system as the of that government branch.
So let me ask. Um, we see righteous and unrighteous spiritual beings.
Yes,
Righteous and unrighteous holy ones.
yes, absolutely. And
So
I've actually
holy
felt
one,
in deliverance sessions, uh, the Lord removing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of holy ones from the generational line of the fallen holy ones. So yes, that's true.
So we'd call them a fallen holy one.
That's correct. Or ungodly.
And so the watchers are the cops.
I believe so. We've actually had people see in the spirit watchers, and they are very, very giant beings. And I discern the watchers in a very specific place here in my head. So that's when I can tell they're watchers. I also feel the holy ones in a very specific place, very close to that on my head.
I'll look forward to finding out more about all of this next time.
Okay.
Headspin is hosted by Jeff Stow and produced by Aslan's Place Ministry. For more information on Aslan's Place, visit aslansplace.com.